A week ago on the west side of town, Franklin County could not stop scoring. Are they going to be able to keep that momentum going tonight as the Corbin Red Hounds come into town? We'll find out here on the Game of the Week coming up. Welcome to Franklin County High School. If you tried to draw up a better night for football here in Central Kentucky, you couldn't do it. It's gorgeous out there. Alongside Clint Goins, I'm John Piesheimer. We're happy to bring you tonight's Game of the Week as the Corbin Red Hounds coming in at 2-2 come to take on Franklin County with a record of 1-1, including that huge win last week that probably should have had a TV 14 at the bottom corner, considering how many points Franklin County threw up on Western Hills. I know you were here for that game, Clint. What was your takeaway from that?
Well, it was a big win. In fact, I don't think I have seen a team score 69 points in a high school football game before in my life. And you're right about being a beautiful night. You just missed about 15 minutes earlier. There was a cloud there right at across the way. It's broken up now, but it was shaped just like the state of Kentucky. It was beautiful. Chamber of Commerce Day here in Franklin. Last night, about all you can take away. Oh, there's a picture of it right there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is just beautiful.
Couldn't draw it better up for the state capitol, could you?
No. Now, as far as last week, well, it's hard to take away a lot from a lopsided game like that, except for two things. Number one, Western Hills never quit trying. They really played hard until the bitter end. They were out there doing their best all the time. They didn't give up. And Franklin County also didn't give up either. It's easy when you have a big lead just to kind of coast through the rest of the game. I don't think they, ran up the score or anything. They just played good football until the very end. But that's really about all you can take away from it because the teams are so mismatched. Franklin County has like 3 times the number of players that Western Hills has. And, they're running guys in and out, and the Wolverines are basically, a lot of guys play the entire game without a break. So it's kind of hard to tell.
All right, well, maybe a little bit better challenge for Franklin County as Corbin comes into town. Same class 4A. We'll have all the action for you. We're going to step away for a second. We'll have kickoff coming up. Stay with us here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Call David Toll's Auto Pro for all your automotive needs.
Don't let your car keep you from making important plans. Take it to David Toll's Auto Pro, 515 Duncan Road and 1348 Versailles Road.
We depend on the internet for so much these days, but not all Kentuckians have access to reliable broadband service. That's why Kentucky Farm Bureau joined the American Connection Project, and we now provide free Wi-Fi access from the parking lots of nearly 200 KFB locations across the state. You see, Kentucky Farm Bureau does more than just insure homes and autos. We help ensure that more Kentuckians stay connected. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Welcome back to Benny Watkins Field as we see the Franklin County Flyers take the field to take on the Corbin Red Hounds. Franklin County coming in with a record of 1-1. First week, tough loss at Great Crossing to a Scott County team that is really about the same level as you're going to see Franklin County play at all year. Of course, last week they had the game where really it was a kind of a big mismatch against Western Hills. Corbin, on the other hand, comes in at 2-0. They had a pretty big win last week against Whitley County, and Corbin, a 4A class school, they like to do is a little bit like Franklin County in the fact that their offense is really diverse. They run the ball well, they pass the ball well, they don't turn the ball over a lot. This is going to be a really interesting game, I think.
I do believe, John, that we have the potential tonight of having the best high school football game in the state this Friday night, because these two teams, I think, are very similar. They both have a great tradition. They're about the same size and number of players. You're right. Neither team is a 3 yards in a cloud of dust team. They like to throw the pigskin around the yard a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to this contest.
Well, you sold me. I guess I'll stick around. All right, as we get set for kickoff, Franklin County did win the toss, and they are going to be running the ball right to left on your screen as Corbin is going to be kicking off towards the high school here at Benny Watkins Field.
Caden Mormon back to receive there for Franklin County.
And you said it earlier, Clint, couldn't draw up a better night for football. This is wonderful. And sorry you can't be here in person, but we're glad you're here with us wherever you're watching us on Cable 10 or on our various streams. We have kickoff, and that one is going to go right into the end zone. Mormon's just going to keep it there. And they'll get 20 for free, and we'll start this one out.
And I promised last week, if you tuned in, my roster for Franklin County was all jacked up, and I figured it out at halftime what I had done, and I think I've fixed that. I'm hoping that I have a more accurate roster here.
Well, Chris Cole will be somewhere correcting you.
That's right.
Watching it tonight.
He's down in Alabama tonight.
There's the handoff to Norman. He bounces it left. He's got 10. Yeah. He's got more. He's going to get a first down and plenty more than that. Nice little run to start off the game.
That's right. Mormon, of course, their best offensive run threat.
Nice job of picking the right lane there, too, as he comes through. And I know you all mentioned on the show last week, Caden Mormon verbally committed to the University of Kentucky, so.
Yes. Hurst
throws it out wide and just not able to pull that one in is Jalid Galloway, who had a big game last week as well.
Yes, his name is not Gilead, even though in church I was always told that there is a balm in Gilead, but he pronounces his name Jalid. My apologies.
Well, there is a ball in Jalid's hands. A lot.
That's right. That's right.
2nd and 10 here. Hurst is going to keep this, and he's got some room to run. With diving tackle not successful, he's to the 50 to 45 and gets knocked into the Franklin County Flyer bench. Nice little run there on 2nd down.
Yes, and I don't think that was a designed play. Maybe it was, but it looked like there was just a little bit of pause, like, oh, there's nobody to hand it off to, so I'll just take it myself.
And that'll be an interesting thing to see this season with Gavin Hurst. You know, he's got a lot of snaps under his belt now. He's a junior. He's got more experience, and we're going to see if that really plays out in his decision-making.
He's brought down that Anthony Myers. I know we got a lot of viewers from down in Corbin. Myers is one of their leading tacklers for the Red Hounds.
Fresh set of downs on the 43-yard line. Hurst is going to roll out right, and he tosses it out, and that is Zach Claudio, the senior, getting just about to the line of scrimmage there.
Yes, I believe Claudio is a 5th-year senior, I think. He's one of those, all the guys that went through 2020 were given an option to get another year of high school if they wanted to, and I think he opted for that.
You know what, Clint? That was a nice open field tackle there by Jacob Baker to keep Claudio from getting free there on the sideline.
Baker, another one of their leading tacklers.
First, it's Brody Wells, or excuse me, that's not Brody Wells. It's Juice Robinson, or Elysius Robinson.
Elysius Robinson, yes. He's a sophomore wide receiver. Here's another look at it. It's nice a good block there.
Yeah, it was a well-designed play, and Corbin didn't see it coming that time.
Flyers methodically moving the ball down the field.
Hurst in the gun again here.
throwing again. Is that Claudio?
That was Galloway with the catch.
Galloway. He didn't get much, if anything. In fact, he may have actually lost yards on that play. I'm not sure.
So that'll bring out 2nd and 10 on the 32. As they're lining up again, and looks like a very similar formation just on the other hash as they're lining Mormon up in the right slot there, right next to Galloway.
5 receivers, nobody in the backfield.
Hurst is going to air it out.
Throws it short.
Get it, and it is picked off. That is Brody Wells coming in to make the pick, and Franklin County turning the ball over on their first drive of the game.
The ball just underthrown. Too much air under it, and
underthrown, and really that time Wells really had the measure of Robinson on that. Hadn't covered all the way, was playing the ball like you're supposed to, and that was a nice bit of
Robinson wasn't really open.
Safety play that time by Brody Wells. So Corbin will take over at their own 10-yard line here.
Cade Elam is their quarterback, takes it himself, picks up about 5.
Cade Elam not afraid to put the ball down and run. He is the 2nd leading rusher on this team. Picks up about 48 yards a game doing that.
Brought down by Christian Moore.
He has a couple of touchdowns on the season, and a couple of really impressive players for Corbin. Looking at the stats, and Cade Elam is one of those staying in there at quarterback. He not afraid to air the ball out either, as you see right here. We've got a flag down.
And maybe a hold. That pass was out to Brody Wells.
We'll wait to see. It was in the backfield, so it kind of tells you it may have been something procedural, because it went up as soon as the snap hit. And do we wait?
Yeah, I thought he was ready to make the call, but no, he's...
Eddie James would like an explanation, as would we.
Maybe we'll get one here in a second. Illegal motion. False start against the Redhounds.
Now 2nd and 5, and for Franklin County, you've got to be looking at this as an opportunity to get... You turn the ball over on your first series, but you got a chance, if you really get after them, to get a couple points on the board here.
So that took back the gain they had on 1st down. So
Cade Elam, only a sophomore, but already putting up some impressive numbers. He's going to go to the air, right back to that play to Wells, and this time they connected.
It's about 8.
And that will take them to just about the 16, 17-yard line. Nice job by Juice Robinson. And that was also coming in to help out with that was Brennan Robinson. Or excuse me, that was Brennan, Juice Robinson. So Brennan is Juice, correct?
Apparently so.
Okay.
I cannot confirm nor deny. High snap. Elam takes it himself.
Nice job there by Elam. Going in the snap, just...
He's going to get the 1st down, I believe.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Elam that time, because, I mean, that's a dangerous situation when you're that close to your own end zone and you get a high snap, and managed to keep his composure, grabbed it, and got another set of downs out of it. So that'll bring Corbin to their own 22-yard line. And we've got a penalty of some sort here. I imagine it's offsides. Offside, excuse me. Been watching too much soccer.
Encroachment.
Just seemed like they were fooled a little bit by whatever call Cade Elam was doing.
Jeremiah Arden, number 75. One of the guilty parties. I don't think he was the only one.
empty backfield for Elam. He's going to air it out here. And almost picked off.
Almost a heck of a catch.
There were a lot of things that almost happened right there. Franklin County had that double covered, yet he snuck that ball in there, and Brody Wells almost made an incredible catch here. Well thrown ball. You got to have a little bit of nerve to throw it into what looked like triple coverage actually over there, as they looked like they went to the same play almost, same receiver, and this time the ball wasn't quite where
that was the replay, John.
Well, it was a different angle. It looked like a whole new play. I apologize there. Here's the throw, and that is going to be Carter Stewart taking that.
It's okay, buddy. I'll forgive you.
Yeah, but will everyone else out there? That's my question. I'll try to make it up to you as we go on. We're a third of the way through this first quarter here, as things are going by pretty quickly. We'll wait to see what the Red Hounds are going to do here. They picked up a first down on that one. They will be still on their own side of the field, but steadily moving the ball up into on the verge of Franklin County territory. There's Elam with the handoff, and going nowhere with that is Cameron Combs, and that's a name you're probably going to hear a lot.
Yes.
From Corbin's perspective. He is their leading rusher. 24 rushing attempts so far this season. Not that good at math, but if they play 2 games, that means he's averaging about 12 a game.
Yes.
Let's get a look at number 75, one of the big boys on the line. That's Jeremiah Arden. Elam going to go to the air, and he's going to get a lot of it and out of reach.
That was not even close. That was intended, I think, for Petrowski, Eli Petrowski. He's a freshman, but he's one of their leading receivers. Just 2 games into the season, but
Corbin not afraid to play the young kids. It's that old adage: if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Elam has thrown for about 250 yards in 2 games so far this year, which is not bad, but Gavin Hurst for Franklin County in 2 games has thrown for almost 300 yards. So,
39. Elam had a little trouble bringing in that snap and threw it into a tight pocket. A nice bit of defense that time from Emmanuel Smith, the senior for Franklin County, coming in to break up that pass.
Nice pursuit there. I don't know. Let's see who this guy was for Franklin County that hurried him up.
That was number 25. That was caught. Excuse me, 26.
John Griffin.
And this will be our first punt of the game, as Corbin did not end up getting it into the Franklin County side of the field, and they'll have to give the ball away here.
Yes.
6:56.
Franklin County
to go
could
in
be
first
in
quarter.
Decent field position here. But well, I'll take that back. They take it on the 10, and they're going to start this series off worse than when they took the kickoff.
Yeah, Claudio tried to field that on the bounce, it looked like, and it just kind of the momentum of the ball carried it out of his hands, and he had to kind of come back and get it. And I think really that little bit of having to double back really gave the Red Hounds time to just swamp that up. But Franklin County will get the ball back on their own 17. 6:45 left to go in the first quarter. We're still scoreless here. I have a feeling it's not going to stay that way for long, Clint. There's Hurst. He's got Mormon behind him. Mormon will get the snap. He's got a hole and bounces it forward.
Nice
about
block.
4 yards.
Nice block in the interior of the line.
See the replay.
Jeremiah Arden does a really good job of screening off his man.
2nd and 4. Mormon's going to get it again, and that time he is covered up by Red Hounds.
No gain.
Not able to get anything out of that.
And they're stopping the clock for some reason. Officials are conferring. I did not see a flag, but apparently there was one personal foul against the Flyers.
Not what we want to see.
Personal foul against Corbin, so they'll offset and nothing will happen, and it'll be third down.
We talked about that a little bit before the game started, Quinn, about that first drive last week that you saw here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week. You know, Franklin County, a little bit of maybe first game jitters here in town. Of course, it wasn't here. It was over at Western Hills, but a lot of flags in that first half.
Franklin County particularly had a lot of flags. Western Hills played a pretty clean game. But Franklin County, I think, was flagged at least 10 times.
3rd and 3. Galloway in motion. He's going to get the hand of.
That's Claudio, actually.
Excuse me. I saw a 2 and it was a 22. But Claudio gets the ball, and we're going to have a flag here.
Yeah. He slipped. He could have gotten more, but I think he slipped. He lost his footing there. He's only going to pick up 2, but we'll see what the flag says. Holding against the Flyers, so
that'll make it a little trickier on 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd down, and that'll back him up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So this very well could be 3rd and 20.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay here, and I'm fairly sure this is a replay, since it says it on the screen and you can see the hold
slow
right
motion.
there. And really, I don't think that really helped. That wasn't really beneficial for Claudio and what he was trying to do there. So.
Well, if I were Corbin, I'm not sure I would have.
I think that's probably the discussion they might be having right now.
And said, let's just make them punt it. It would have brought up 4th down, and they were still well short. I think I would. Well, they're calling it 3rd and 11.
Well, also, Corbin, looking at their game so far, they tend to be pretty stingy on defense. So maybe their staff was pretty confident in their ability to set Franklin County even further back and try to play a little bit of a field position game here. But you got to get the stop first. Harris gets the snap. He's going to
go to the air here.
He's going to air it out. It was a nice play call. He had his man, just led him a little bit too much, and Franklin County is more than likely going to have to punt here.
Yep, threw it just a little bit out of Claudio's reach. He got one hand on it, and I don't think that would have been enough anyway for a 1st down.
So this will be the first punt for Franklin County.
There's Coach Eddie James, Franklin County's head coach.
Decent snap, ball's in the air, and it's going to get that just across the middle of the field.
Nice
getting it over to
there.
about the 45 is number 15. That's Carter Stewart.
Jaquan Crawford, number 12, I think, on that tackle.
Let's see the
Just
replay.
a freshman.
From our camera on the field. Nice look there, and saw some open field in front of him, and that was quickly closed up. You can see the Franklin County coaching staff really happy with their special teams play there.
Yes, but now Corbin does have the ball in Franklin County territory, and they're starting their drive there.
Elam hands it off this time outside. It was Jonah Mahan, and he's still on his feet, gets to the 40. Let's see who made the tackle here.
Picked up about 5 yards.
It was a nice job of kind of evading and getting a couple extra yards for his trouble there by Jonah Mahan. 2nd and 5.
I couldn't tell if that was Joe Lester or Xander Curry over there making the tackle. The Flyers have tall, skinny numbers. It's hard to read the jerseys sometimes.
There's a throw out to Cameron Combs, who picks up a couple. That'll be 3rd and short for Corbin. There's a little over 4 minutes left to go in this one. It's been kind of a chess match so far, if you want to put it that way. Not in terms of how interesting it's been, because both teams have really been kind of going for it on offense, but just neither team able to score so far. So.
Elam slammed to the ground there by Brennan Robinson.
Yeah, it looked like Elam might have gotten enough to get the first down there.
You call him Juice Robinson. I don't think he quite got there.
No, he didn't. I thought he had it. It's a 4th and 1. You got to think this is a no-brainer. You go for it here.
Well, they have a good kicker. Corbin does. They have a kicker that has already, that's Newberry, I think it is.
But it's early. You're not looking at a deficit right now. It looks like they're going to roll the dice. Field position is not terrible if you miss this one, but...
And it would be a long kick. It would be a 50-yarder. So, yeah, you're kind of in a no man's land, and it looks like somebody's called timeout.
Yeah, I believe Franklin County wanted to talk this over, and one of the reasons may be they don't want to get another procedure penalty and give them a new set of downs for free. So timeout on the field. We'll take a quick break. Be back right here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Game of the Week is brought to you by David Tolles Auto Pro. You're in good hands with David Tolles Auto Pro. Bring your vehicle to us for the best repairs in the Frankfort area. 2 locations at 1348 Versailles Road and 515 Duncan Road. And check us out at davidtollsautopro.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by J.O. Osborne with the Franklin County Farm Bureau. The Franklin County Farm Bureau's J.O. Osborne wishes all of our local teams a healthy, competitive, and successful season. J.O. and Kentucky Farm Bureau have been insuring Frankfort since 1943. With them on your team, when you experience a loss from an accident or storm, it can be a real game changer.
Big 4th down here as Corbin on the Franklin County 36. Can the Flyer defense hold? Norman under center. Excuse me, that's Elam under center, and he's going to roll through and pick up the first down.
Peyton Medford in there on the tackle, number 3. I'm surprised that the linebackers weren't a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage on that play.
I keep hearing that siren going off, and I think it's the scoreboard, but then I look at our scoreboard cam here, and we've still got 2 minutes and 38 seconds left.
Yes.
So... Here's the handoff, and that's Combs, and he's going to be able to almost walk into the end zone, and that is our first touchdown of the game. And unfortunately for all the Franklin County fans watching, it is a Corbin Redhound touchdown as Cameron Combs walks through untouched. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Good blocking by the Redhound interior lineman, and yeah, I think I could have ran through that hole, and I can't hardly run, so.
I think I would have gotten through the hole, but I would have come up about 5 yards short before I just passed out. And the kick is up, and it is good, and 7-0 is the score with 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first quarter. Corbin strikes first. Franklin County will get the ball back and try to get that 7 points back when we come back here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
In today's fast-paced housing market, you need realtors with experience who understand that timing is essential when finding the perfect home for the right price. Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher are here to ensure that you and your family have a positive experience from start to finish.
Real estate is what we do,
and families are why we do it.
If your property has trees, you know they add beauty and value, but they also have the potential to do serious damage. That's where the team of pros at Estate Tree Service come in. From trimming and shaping to complete removal, including stumps. The team at Estate Tree Service gets the job done, even in an emergency. Estate Tree Service has been the area's premier tree service since 1957, and our long list of satisfied clients can tell you why. The name you know and trust. Estate Tree Service.
Welcome back to Franklin County High School for the Cable 10 Game of the Week, brought to you by David Tolles Auto Pro and J.O. Osborne, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. I want to thank our sponsors, making it possible for us to bring this high school football action to you all season long. This kick is in the air, and taking it is going to be Mormon, and it looked like he was in a little bit of indecision that time because
once it in high school football, once it goes in the end zone, you can't run it out anymore. They changed that. You can't run it out anymore. If it goes in the end zone, breaks that goal line, plays dead. It's a safety issue, I guess, and I'm not against that really. This is Jacob Baker. He is the kicker and the place kicker for the Red Hounds. I thought it might have been Newberry, who wears number 5. But I was reading it wrong.
Hurst going to keep it. He's got room to run there on the left side. Splits a couple tackles. Gets about 7 yards.
I think he got the first down, I believe, didn't he?
Let's take a look at this again. And you may be, and they're giving him 12 yards. You're right, Clint.
Yeah. Good effort there by Gavin Hurst.
Yeah, just snuck through a couple tackles there.
Wide open backfield. Well, now Mormon is back in there, and so does
Peyton Ledford also lining up back.
Yeah.
Mormon's going to get the snap, finds the hole, stays on his feet, gets to the 45, 46. Nice run there by Mormon.
Wouldn't surprise me if Coach James sticks a little bit more to the running game here. The passing game hasn't been as successful thus far as he may have hoped. Keep the ball on the ground, see what we can do.
They're giving him the 45. That's where Franklin County will set up, and Hurst is going to keep that. Fake the snap to Mormon.
Yeah, that was a nice fake. It fooled me.
Again, Gavin Hurst picking up about 12 yards on that run.
And the thing is they had Mormon dead to rights. I mean, boom, there was a guy waiting for him.
I think Mormon had that defender dead to rights. That was he took a little pride in that block. Just over a minute left. Will Franklin County push to get this one in the first quarter, or are we going to be going the other direction?
Hurst under center here, I formation.
And he snaps it.
Gives it to the fullback.
Ledford, bullies his way out to about the 33.
So again, this is kind of like the first series. Franklin County doing a good job moving the football down the field, but you saw that first series ended with an interception and no points. And the Flyers trail by 7.
Excuse me, it was about the 37. Now Hurst in the backfield. He's got Mormon in motion there, and he's going to keep it again. They stopped the gap that time, and he's going to take a loss here. And takes about a 5-yard loss on that sack, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Corbin striking first, but Franklin County threatening. 7-0 your score as we see this sack that ended the first quarter here. Franklin County has the ball in Corbin territory, and that's where they'll be when we come back here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher. Choose local realtors that treat you like family, because real estate is what we do and families are why we do it.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Estate Tree Service. We have a solution for all your tree care needs. Estate Tree Service provides expert tree care and preservation. Call 502-229-5258 for a free estimate.
Bob Allen is
Kentucky's Dealmaker. Shop Bob Allen of Frankfort for a winning selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, as well as quality late model pre-owned.
Click and save
at BobAllenFrankfort.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Bob Allen. Bob Allen is Frankfort's dealmaker. Visit Bob Allen's new state-of-the-art showroom at 925 Versailles Road and discover Central Kentucky's best selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models, as well as pre-owned. Shop BobAllenFrankfort.com.
Welcome back to Franklin County High School. The start of the second quarter, Corbin leading Franklin County 7-0 as Franklin County takes over here, looking at 3rd and 9. The ball's on there. Corbin 41. Big down here for Franklin County. See if they can get that touchdown back. Hurst is in the gun. Mormon in motion right now. Hurst is going to look, and he's got Galloway. Galloway's got some room. He splits a tackle. Still on his feet. Looks like he got the first down and a little bit more. Great play that time coming out of the quarter break as Galloway picks up the first down, and now Franklin County truly threatening here.
Yes, the league doing a good job fighting for those yak yards, they say, yards after catch.
Hurst keeps it. He faked the handoff to Mormon.
Yeah,
didn't get much out of that one. You can see kind of what they're trying to do there because Mormon is really blocking that that rush that's coming from the opposite side from where they want to run the ball.
Yeah, but I think Hurst was thinking, shouldn't Mormon have taken that ball? I mean, it kind of looked like when Mormon didn't reach out and grab it, he was a little confused as to what to do. And there's some mix-up sometimes there in the backfield.
This will be interesting. Hurst coming out of the slot or the gun 2nd and 10, but will they hand it off to Mormon this time, or are they going to try to put it in the air? Hurst is going to keep it. It's kind of the option right there, but he ended up keeping it and got maybe a yard, maybe a couple.
Maybe a couple, yeah, that's right. Had Claudio back there. I thought maybe he should have pitched to Claudio.
I think his concern was he was covered up and Claudio was also covered up. Corbin reading that one pretty well.
Big down here. I don't know that, you know, the Flyers have got a pretty good kicker in Arthur, but I don't know that he's got this range. So they need to get a little bit closer.
Hurst is going to put it in the air. He's got a man, and that is going to be a touchdown. Zach Claudio making the catch and hopping the fence and putting 6 on the board for Franklin County. Nice play call there on 3rd down.
I agree. Well thrown ball, nice catch.
Franklin County gets on the scoreboard here early in the second quarter. Let's take a look at this from the back end, and Claudio breaking free. Brody Wells there trying to catch him, but Claudio had a couple steps the whole way. Great ball by Gavin Hurst over the top, and
he never slowed down, you know.
Exactly how you draw it up.
There's a good look at Claudio. We'll see if the Flyers can tie this up with a successful PAT. And do they already have it? Did we miss it?
Well, I don't see the scoreboard changing, so apparently they have had it, and it was unsuccessful as Eddie James is having some discussion right now with the official. And a little bit of confusion out there.
That was a quick PAT.
Yeah, we're trying to kind of figure out what happened here. We'll keep it here since we're going to go here in just a second as we get a look at Coach Eddie James. That will make him feel a little better. Here we go. Here's the replay.
Here's the replay of the PAT.
All right.
It's up and, yep, it's low.
Yeah, that one almost took off a couple of heads there in the stands. So not ideal for a PAT. 7-6 your score. Franklin County getting on the board but not getting the score tied, and with about 10 minutes left here in the second quarter, we got a good one on our hands, I believe. And in a close game, Quint, you think about little things like that. Missing a PAT, that could easily come back to haunt you.
Easton Powell, the sophomore place kicker, puts it up and will get a touchback.
Going back to that play, Quint, the scoring play that they just had on that long ball to Claudio, that's the kind of thing I feel like wasn't open in the first couple of series for Franklin County. And running the ball as effectively as they did on that last drive, I think may have opened the doors a little bit for that.
Yeah, it makes the defensive backs kind of, you know, they're expecting to run first, so they're not dropping back into coverage as rapidly as they might normally would, because they want to come up and make a tackle or assist in a tackle.
Corbin looks to respond here. Elam hits Wells and he fumbles the ball and they land on it, and it was one of those.
Franklin West falls on it for the Red Hounds. Was it a catch? Did it even a catch?
I think they are. I think they're spotting it where the ball went down. Let's take a look at this again. To me, he's already got it. He's taken off.
He made a football move.
Catch.
Yeah,
that's
he
a
sure
fantastic
did.
Job right there on the hit by Emmanuel Smith of knocking the ball loose. Yeah. Unfortunately, Corbin the first to jump on it. 2nd and 9 now. Ball's on the Corbin 21, and the handoff is going to go to Wells. He tries to go out right, trips forward, and picks up a couple yards.
Emmanuel Smith finishes him off. I'm not sure who originally tripped him up. Wells coming off the field. So 3rd and 4 here for the Red Hounds.
Yeah, and Corbin not afraid to throw the ball. That's exactly what they're going to do.
They
get a man stopped right at the down marker. We'll have to see where they spot it, but I believe they got him stopped.
First down.
Yeah, he must have, they got him where he caught the ball, and that must have been where they stopped. And it looked like he was right on the line.
Well-designed play. Run to the sticks, turn around and catch the ball. Elam didn't waste any time.
Not wasting any time going here now that they've got a fresh set of downs. Is Franklin County again encroaching. I believe that's what the call would be.
Toothaker was over the line, and I think so was Golson. First and 5 now for the Red Hounds.
So that'll make the job a little bit easier for Corbin here. Elam going back to the gun.
Takes the handoff.
Better get it off.
Hit as he throws, but wow, what a catch.
Yeah, that was a great throw and a great job by Elam to stick in there, and he is going to roll in. We'll see if they give it to him. Still waiting for the call. No, they're going to say he was knocked out at the 3-yard line, but that's a fantastic play by Corbin. A fantastic throw by Elam, really keeping his nerve and hitting his man as the rush was coming, and Carter was absolutely wide open, as you'll see here on the replay.
Yep, wide open. Nobody near him.
Fantastic job there of evading a tackle too, and nice effort that time on the back end of that by Claudio to push him out of bounds.
Yeah, that would have been 6. So he's going to be out at about the 8, I'm going to say, yard line. No, they put the ball for 3.
There's the handoff and going nowhere with that. Is Cameron Combs, swarmed that time by Franklin County Flyer defenders. That'll bring up 2nd and 3. 7.5 minutes left here. Corbin trying to put another touchdown on the board and extend this lead that they've got over Franklin County right now. Cade Elam, their quarterback, under center. He's going to fake the handoff to Wells, and he's going to get it to Stewart. And excuse me, yeah, that's Carter Stewart, the guy who caught that pass over the middle that got them that far down the field. But that time he is all covered up.
Alicius Robinson with the tackle for the Flyers.
Nice tackle. Got a couple of those yards back for Franklin County.
It's going to be 3rd and 10 now. So a loss of 5 on that play. This is a point where I think Corbin, if they don't get it here, they may kick a field goal.
Go to the air. He's got a man. That is that's Cameron Combs, and he gets back to about the original line of scrimmage, maybe a couple less yards. It looks like he got to the 5-yard line. So now you're looking at 4th and 5. This really is an interesting call, Clint.
Toothaker finished him off. I think Claudio made the initial contact.
Yeah, Claudio with a nice job. Because if he gets past that first tackle, there's a chance he can just kind of roll his way into the end zone there. So now a decision to make for Corbin. Looks like they're going to set up a kick.
Yes, they are going to kick it.
That is Jacob Baker. And he is stuffed, and the ball is out, and Franklin County has it.
Wow.
And they're going to be able to get it to the 20. Great job that time, and Franklin County was just all over that. There were about 3 or 4 Flyers just in the way of that kick. I don't even think the kick got off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another fantastic special teams play there by Franklin County. Let's take a look at this. Nobody covering them on the side. Couple of Flyers getting in, and they did get the kickoff, but that was Emmanuel Smith. Yeah, coming in and almost took that one right into the breadbasket. He was so on top
in the gut.
Fantastic play there by the Flyer defense.
Yeah, nobody coming around. He came in there untouched.
And that's a good morale boost because you gave up that big hitter on 1st and 5, and you kept him off the scoreboard. So Franklin County will take over on their own 19-yard line here. Hurst out of the gun. He's got Mormon next to him, and that is Robinson going in motion. He hands it to Mormon, who gets maybe a couple straight up the middle.
Yeah, go forward. The interior linemen aren't doing quite the job that they were doing earlier in the contest, I don't think.
So 5:13 left. You got 6 points on the board by basically running the ball down the throats and around of Corbin. Of course, they got that one pass play to actually get the touchdown, but you got to think about this is handoff to Mormon. He's got a hole. He gets about 7 or 8 yards. You got to think about this. We're under 5 minutes now. You got to kick the ball off to Corbin coming back in the 3rd quarter. And the way that these games, we've had long drives by both of these teams so far.
Yes.
You don't know how many more times you're going to get the ball in the 2nd half. So you want to try to get ahead on the scoreboard going into halftime for momentum's sake and for the sake of you have to give the ball away to start the 2nd half. Mormon again makes that big hit, stays on his feet. He's still on his feet. Wow. Fantastic bit of strength running, just powering his way through, almost getting to the 40-yard line is Caden Mormon.
Making some chicken salad out of chicken something else.
So you see Eddie James there. As a football guy, you just have to love runs like that. That is,
yeah, he was stopped for no gain.
The pure heart and soul of football right here. And Mormon, just big boy in his way through there. Hurst's going to keep it this time. He's got room to run on the outside, but nice tackle that time to keep the damage to a minimum there by Corbin. I didn't see who got it.
I think that was Wells that got in there to make the tackle. Pick up about 3, I believe. They'll be giving him 4 yards.
It's a 2nd and 4 that'll take them to their own 43. And
Terry Johnson, the PA announcer, long-time PA announcer here at FCHS. I've been doing this job for at least 40 years. I think a little generous on that one.
You're still getting used to there being color on the picture, right? Here's Hurst is going to hand it off this time. It is Robinson taking it. He's got room to run, gets past the man, gets it across the 50.
Elysius picks up the first down.
And it looks like he might have turned ankle on that
he's
play.
A little gimpy coming off the field there.
You hate to see that, but a nice run there. And, you know, a lot of times if you have an ankle, there's an ankle turn and an ankle sprain. Anybody with weak ankles such as myself will tell you that. You can tweak it, and then you can just, you know, it's really a difference between feeling all right in about 5 minutes and not being able to walk for 2 weeks. Here's Harris, he pitches it out. And that is Claudio who's going to air it out.
Little flea flicker here.
The flea flicker, but
unfortunately it backfires.
Yeah, that's
and
probably
that
a ball
is
that shouldn't have been thrown because it looked like Corbin was all over it here, Clint.
Yeah.
A decent idea, and Claudio, I think, really just didn't see the kind of coverage that was
Galloway wasn't open. He threw it to the wrong number 2.
Yeah, and I believe another man out on the other side of the field, I didn't catch the number, but would have been a better option. But now Corbin taking over deep into their own side of the field, but second turnover of the game for Franklin County.
Both
interceptions. And both kind of as they had some momentum going. So,
and the thing is at 2:57, that's time enough for Corbin to come down and score another touchdown.
And we're going to have a timeout called here with 2:57 on the clock. 7-6. Corbin Redhounds have the ball, and we'll try to put another 6 on the board, or 3 at least, when we come back here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
The reason I went to Traditional Bank, I just felt at peace. The atmosphere was different.
Anytime we need anything, Traditional Bank's always there for us. Can't say enough about them.
Tradition to me means integrity. That's what our product's based on. Just the way I did it 25 years ago, we're doing it now on a mass scale.
My name's Curtis Mackley, and I choose Traditional Bank because of the relationship we have formed with them and their integrity. Welcome to Mingy Beef Jerky.
7-6 your score. Corbin on top. A little under 3 minutes left in the first half here at Franklin County High School. Beautiful game for football. Beautiful night for football. And football is our version of the beautiful game here in the States. So
that's right.
Dug my way out of that hole pretty effectively, I think, as Elam gets the ball. He hands it off. No, he keeps it that time.
Himself.
Takes me out of it. He's got 10. He's got 20. He is going to keep going, and that gets Corbin out of a jam right there with 2:48 left. They are close to the center of the field, and Elam with a nice job of improvising that time and gets a huge gain because of it.
Emmanuel Smith on the tackle there for Franklin County. Yeah, the Flyers bit on that fake handoff.
So did I. That was a nice job by Elam. Again, only a sophomore, but showing a lot of poise there. 2.5 minutes left, and Corbin now not looking at such a daunting field in front of him. Elam kept it for a second, and then a pitch out to Combs, who picks up a couple. Clock's still running, though. Corbin has a couple of timeouts left.
He got about 5, actually, about 5 yards. As you can see, Corbin still has 2 timeouts. So,
looking at those Corbin jerseys and helmets, makes you think a little bit about the Buckeyes, I think. Ohio State, similar look. Combs will get the handoff again.
Right,
he's got room up the middle.
Nice hold.
Nice cut back, and still on his feet. Gets to about the 33. Corbin will have to hurry up and get the ball down the field. I think Franklin County now is probably just going to try to keep them in front of them and not really press, but that's another huge gain for Corbin as they try to extend their lead going into halftime. And they're thinking about this, hey, if we score here, we've got the ball coming back in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's important for the Flyers to keep Corbin off the scoreboard here.
They've done it before. They did it on that last drive, so certainly capable. Minute and a half left. Here's the handoff to Combs. He gets stopped, cuts back, and maybe got a yard more on that cutback, but only a couple. They might get into about the 29.
Christian Moore with the tackle there for Franklin County.
And the clock is rolling here. Corbin doesn't seem to be in a big hurry here.
No, I'm a little bit surprised by that.
Elam's going to go for it here. He's got a man, and
that throw is completed. What a nice catch.
Now the time is running against them. They got to get up here and snap the ball. Actually, the clock is stopped because they have to move the chains.
That's Petrowski, Eli Petrowski. He's just a freshman, folks.
This has been an impressive cut down the field for Corbin. I have to say, Franklin County really desperately needs to keep them out of the end zone here. And there's the pitch out, and that is going to be Xander Curry, who only gets a couple and does not get out of bounds. You expect to see Corbin burn a timeout, and that is what happened. Let's take a look at this previous play here on our Whitehead Hancock replay. That is a fantastic throw. Nice route run, and gets about 25 yards on that throw. Fantastic play by Corbin. And we'll keep it here as you see the Red Hounds here.
Coach James not happy. Actually, that wasn't Coach James. That was a different Franklin County coach.
Yeah, I believe that was the defensive coordinator whose name escapes me. I apologize, but that was Coach Ledford there, really tearing into his troops. And I know you don't have to remind them of the importance of not giving up a touchdown here, but certainly making his point known.
Well, you know, as I often say, in the grand scheme of things, this is not a district game, so it doesn't really affect playoff eligibility. However, it is quite possible Franklin County will see Corbin again in the playoffs.
Here's the handoff to Wells.
A win would boost morale.
That's a nice stop there by that line. Coming in to make the tackle. It looked like that was number 75 getting in there. Jeremiah Arden.
Yes. They gave Juice Robinson some credit there, too.
20 seconds left, and Corbin will...
That's their last time out, I think. Our scorebook says 2 timeouts, but I think they've spent them both here in the last minute. So they've got 20 seconds, and we'll see what they can do. If they don't get the first down, maybe they'll, you know, oh, it's a nice tackle here. As we look at some of the defensive plays by Franklin County, that was Juice Robinson there, number 20 on the tackle, and this was a host of team.
This is the series that set up that blocked field goal that we're probably going to see here in a second.
Yeah, good tackle there by Alicius Robinson. And of course, there's a block by Emmanuel Smith.
Had a great game so far, the Flyer defense, and now is the time to dig deep and pull another one out of the hat with 20 seconds left and Corbin threatening. There's Elam under center. They're going to do the little misdirect and not able to make the interception. It looked like 2 guys who had the same thing in their mind, but nice stop on 3rd down all the same.
I hope that ball was tipped because it was well underthrown. Here's another look at it.
Let's take a look at this.
If
I believe you're right, Clint. I believe number 24 there, Christian Moore.
Yeah, and the thing is,
might have gotten, you know, even if he didn't touch it, that the guy that threw it had a face full of Christian Moore at that time, so definitely affected it.
If Emmanuel Smith had knocked it away, I think his teammate probably would have caught it for an interception. But
Corbin going to settle for 3 if they can get it, but we saw what happened last time.
This is Baker back again, and this time he gets it up, and it's good. And 12 seconds before halftime, Corbin now leads this contest 10-6.
10-6 your score on that field goal, and with 12 seconds left, Franklin County can look at that two ways. They can look at it as, well, it could have been worse. We could have given up 6 there.
That's true.
Or they could be like, we gave up, you know, and they drove the ball right down on us in a little over 2 minutes.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and you know, Franklin County just got to, they've, you know, got to stop the turnovers. They've thrown 2 interceptions that were drive killers. They were doing well, and you know, but at least they can say, you know, if we score a touchdown, we have the lead. What I would do if they, you know, this kickoff, let's assuming it's going to be a touchback, I think I'd come out and I'd take a knee and go into the second half, and because you can't do much with 12 seconds except perhaps turn the ball over. You don't want to do that. So
you don't know. We've seen some magical moments on this field. Name Ryan Timmons comes to mind.
Yeah. So there's the touchback.
We'll be faced with that exact scenario. And I mean, you know, provided you don't give up a pick 6, it's kind of a free play. So maybe you take your chances. Maybe just pull something out of the bag of tricks and see if you can get some points on the board.
Yeah, you could try,
I'm just
a real deep pass.
I'm just an eternal optimist. What can I say?
There you go. I'm more of a realist. But, you know, Hurst is not under center, so that would lead me to believe he's not going to take a knee. They're going to run a play. Okay, he does take a knee. All right. There you go. Make a liar out of me, Gavin. Thanks a lot. But it's all right. You did the smart, in my opinion, you did the smart thing. That's my opinion for what it's worth.
Well, that Gavin Hurst knee will bring the first half to a close. Franklin County looking up at Corbin on the scoreboard. The score is 10-6. Redhounds on top of the Flyers. Stay with us. We've got the band. We've got some highlights. We've got a lot of action here at halftime. Stay with us here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Game of the Week halftime show is brought to you by Classic Gold. Art-carved class rings are available at Classic Gold Master Jewelers on 859 East Main Street.
Classic Gold Master Jewelers has an amazing selection of jewelry that anyone will love. Classic Gold also provides custom services like pearl restringing, engraving, watch repair, ring resizing, and custom designs. Classic Gold Master Jewelers, 859 East Main Street.
Welcome back to Franklin County High School, where it's halftime here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week. And let's show you a little bit of what we've seen here in the first half. If you were late in joining us, Corbin Redhounds on top of the Franklin County Flyers 10-6. And this is how we got there, Clint.
That's right. Turnover, Franklin County moving the ball real well, but they throw an interception to the wrong number 4. And that leads to Corbin's really good running back, Cameron Combs, scoring a touchdown. They go up 7-0.
And that was a pattern that we would see repeat itself close to the end of the first half. Franklin County turnover leading to Corbin points, but Franklin County able to move the ball a little bit better their second time around as that pass out to Galloway. A nice look there. And here's the pass that got Franklin County on the scoreboard. A well-drawn play on third down to get Zach Claudio free, and Gavin Hurst put it right on his numbers here. Fantastic pass.
Unfortunately, they missed the PAT, but then they did a really good job when Corbin came down and was going to go ahead, further ahead with a field goal. The Flyers block it.
That's right, Clint, but
another interception.
And that was on that flea flicker play, and Claudio just maybe not making the wisest decision to throw it into double coverage that time, and that led to Corbin driving the ball right down the field in a couple of minutes and putting 3 more on the board, and that brings us to our score here at halftime, 10-3. Stay with us. We'll have the band and a lot more here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Flyers now kick off the 2022 marching season with a premiership from 2013. At one time the most streamed single ever, this alternative rock hit erupted into the top 10 in 15 different countries. Nominee for the British Single of the Year in 2014, we bring you now the volcanic sound of the British group Bastille. Here's Pompeii. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 Franklin County High School Choir Majorettes are Senior Becky Blomer, Senior Haley Perkins, Senior Isabel Powell, Senior Juliana Salamanca Montano, Sophomore Abigail Hines, Sophomore Allie Moore, and Freshman Savannah Beckett. The FCHS Majorettes take center stage. The Flyers now demonstrate their musical versatility with this punk pop from 2015. Described as frantic, confident, and gimmick stadium rocking. You've heard it at many of your favorite WWE events. Feel free to shout out the song's title in the chorus. From Fall Out Boy, here's Irresistible. dynamic and versatile season opening halftime show with this electro pop R&B hit for 2010. Being number 1 in Great Britain, Canada, and 11 other countries, and number 2 in the United States. You've seen it and you've heard it on Jimmy Kimmel, America's Got Talent, and Dancing with the Stars. If you missed it there, you can catch our principal, Mr. Chris Tracy, dancing to it on TikTok. Song that's guaranteed to blow you away from Taylor Cruz. Here's Dynamite.
Set, and we've got another half of football, and I think it's going to be a good one as Corbin comes up to Franklin County, and just as I say that, they put 3 more minutes at halftime on the board, but Corbin on top of Franklin County. 10-6 is the score, and Corbin knocking one in right before halftime there, as you see Coach Eddie James having a little discussion with the official, and he's got a lot on his mind, as Franklin County will be kicking the ball back to Corbin to start off this second half.
They've got to find a way. They've stopped Corbin once this game. They forced them to punt. But the other times, Corbin has scored or attempted to score. Franklin County blocked one of their field goals. They need more of that to win this game. I mean, we all know that, Corbin's a good team. I mean, they have a very storied program down there. I mean, that's Corbin, the home of Roy Kidd. Well, I don't know if he lives there anymore, but that's where he's from. The famous longtime football coach at Eastern Kentucky University, who's playing tonight, you told me, John. They're playing on the road at Eastern Michigan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Roy Kidd.
Yeah, that's what I said. Did I say Roy Kidd?
Yeah, you did. All right.
Okay, anyway.
Well, we'll sort that out when we get back. We're going to come back and we'll have the kickoff of the second half. You're not going to want to miss that. Stay with us here on the Cable Team Game of the Week.
FPB knows reliable internet is more important than ever. It lets us work from home, share life with family and friends, and make vital connections online. To help, qualifying customers can now access the new Affordable Connectivity Program and step up to fast, reliable FPB internet at a savings of up to $30 per month. Learn more about this new opportunity. Visit FPB online today.
Well, Clint, per our discussion before the break about Roy Kidd and the EKU Colonels, Roy Kidd not the only person in Corbin with an association with the concept of being a colonel. The person for whom the name really may have even started, one Colonel Sanders.
Well, that's right. I forgot about that. I would say he's probably the most famous Corbinite, but when it comes to football, the most famous person from Corbin has got to be Roy Kidd. Two-time national champion. Great football mind.
I know that stings to hear as a Murray fan, but as a Murray alum.
I like Eastern. I got no problem with Eastern.
Well, a mutual friend of ours may have had some words for Roy Kidd, another Murray grad, in one of those big OVC matchups back in the day. So, right, we've got kickoff here as Franklin County kicking it off to Corbin and getting that kickoff and getting to about the 17-yard line there.
Xander Curry, wasn't it?
Xander, I believe it was
number 2.
That is the player we've got up there, Xander Curry. You are correct.
I'm enjoying my popcorn. I apologize if I chew in people's ears.
I'm just surprised you were able to get through that line. A lot of people in the concession line, which is good because that means we've got a lot of people here. It's a great atmosphere here, not only on the Franklin County side, but a lot of people made the drive north from I-75 and coming through Lexington from Corbin for this game. So
I admit that I took advantage of the I work in the press box. I need to be served now, and they did.
That's like having
I was able to jump the line,
so you can just put on your car whenever.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a sidearm there to throw.
Yeah, a little high, but well covered by the Flyers.
2nd and 10 there. I believe Elam just knew he had to get rid of that one and saved the sack that time. This time Elam throws it to, I believe that was number 23.
That's
on the catch, Petrowski, and well covered that time by Franklin County, which will, I believe, only got back to the line of scrimmage there, or he may have picked up a couple. They haven't updated the scoreboard yet. No, he got off 4 there. Maybe about 5, since they just said 3rd and 5 on the scoreboard. So that's what Corbin's looking at. Big 3rd down play, and they're going to get 5
Franklin County to jump. That is the 3rd encroachment call by the Flyers, and like I said last week, man, they were penalized quite often in a 69-0 victory over Western Hills, and I know that even though they won big, I don't think Eddie James was all that happy at the end of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there because, you've got them at 3rd and 5. You've got them deep on your side of the field. You really want to get in there and just make that big play. You're itching to go, but you got to keep it together on that.
Just gave them a free 1st down.
Here's the handoff to Combs. It goes across the field.
Yes.
It's got at least 10. He's going to get it across the 50. Goes out at about the 48. Coming in to make the tackle that time, pushing him out of bounds. I believe that was Zach Claudio coming in, but big gain that time for Combs.
Good blocking by the Red Hounds offense.
I don't believe he went out of bounds. Clock didn't stop.
No.
So that'll bring up 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. And here's Combs again, just straight up the middle. Nothing fancy there. Just picks up about 8 yards.
Juice Robinson on the tackle that time for Franklin County.
And this is a little bit different than what we've seen, because so far, we had seen Corbin getting the big plays, especially on that last drive of the first half. This one, they're just kind of death by 1,000 cuts almost.
Yeah, the Flyer defensive line not getting the job done right now.
There's the throw out, and that is thrown to Wells. Makes a man miss, gets about 5 more yards after the catch.
Galloway with the initial contact there.
Corbin not wasting any time getting down the field here. They've knocked about a minute and a half off the clock, and they are already just about to the 30-yard line of Franklin County.
High snap.
Elam rolling out right. He looks to throw, and he just has to get rid of that one, and almost leaves too much on it, but did manage to get that out of bounds. We've seen him do that a couple of times, and again, I mentioned it in the first half, just a lot of poise for a sophomore quarterback, and you can tell he's seen a lot of snaps, and he's had a lot of experience, because he has really run this Corbin offense very efficiently.
He's done a good job. I'm impressed.
2nd and 10 from the Franklin County 31. There's the handoff, and that is gonna go in. We'll see, and
it looks like he got
the touchdown. That is Xander Curry, and they gave him 6. Oh, they are celebrating. It's not on the scoreboard yet. He's celebrating as if he scored.
I did not see an official raise their hands. Here's another look at it.
Let's take a look. Yeah, they just put the score up on the scoreboard.
And I think he got in there because he got hit, but
that
knee was down.
That's a bad call there.
We don't have a review, but yeah, his knee was down out of bounds at about the 2.
You can't throw anything by our camera guys and our replay director and Doug Crow, and I think they might be having a little discussion about this now. No, that's going to be some kind of penalty going against Franklin County. Maybe it's sideline.
Look at it again here, and you'll see his right knee
and
there, right before he hits. Right before he hits the pylon. But, really.
But that's another thing. You've got Franklin County, who's made 2 goal line stands here. And that kind of thing matters in the grand scheme of things.
Well, last week we saw Western Hills take the ball down to the 1, and in the very next play, they fumble the ball, and Franklin County gets it back. Here's another look. But, 9 times out of 10, right there. So the 1-yard line. Anyway, we'll step aside, come back with the kickoff.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Whitehead Hancock. Whitehead Hancock Plumbing has been serving Frankfort families for more than 100 years. You can trust Whitehead Hancock for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and septic needs. Call them today at 502-227-2213 for 24-hour emergency service, or visit their website at whiteheadhancock.com.
Controversial as it may be, it is a touchdown on the scoreboard and in the record books, and Corbin goes up by 11 points here with 9:46 left in the third quarter. 17-6 your score, and Corbin just kind of taking apart the Franklin County defense on that opening drive of the third quarter, Quint. And 9:46 left, Franklin County with the ball back, and I don't want to say they have to score because there's a lot of game left, but for momentum's sake, you really want to get 6 on the board here and just kind of get your offense back in a rhythm. We've only really seen out of Franklin County in one drive, and that was the drive that they scored early in the second quarter here.
The Flyers aren't doing badly. It's just the fact that they're making costly mistakes. Number one, it was 3rd and 5, and they give them a free first down by jumping off sides. They've thrown 2 interceptions that just killed successful drives. You just got to stop making the mistakes. It's not that you're playing badly, you're just making too many errors.
Mormon just kind of jumps through the hole that time, and he'll pick up about 3 or 4 yards. Didn't see who got the tackle that time for Corbin. Mormon is coming up a little bit hurt. That is not something that Franklin County wants to see. He is not happy about it, and I think that's kind of the look of somebody who knows exactly what he just hurt there.
Yeah, he's gimpy, and
looked like it might have gotten twisted under him a little bit there on the tackle.
So he's going to be sitting down for a little while. He's not just taking a play off. He's going to be taking a little while off. Was that intercepted?
It looked like it bounced back into his hand. I'm not sure if that's what the case was, but Hurst got the ball back, and he got a little bit of afters there as Hurst and one of the Corbin Redhounds going face-to-face there.
But one of his teammates wisely steps in. That's Christian Moore saying, hey,
yeah,
keep your cool. It's bad enough now. We don't need anything worse.
Got a flag, and that may be as a byproduct of what we just saw after the whistle. And interested to see what happened on that play again, because Clint, I think the ball got knocked out of his hands and he managed to catch it and tried to run with it. But I'm not sure about that, because from our vantage point, it was kind of blocked off.
Face mask. Maybe that's why Hurst was so upset. That'll be an automatic first down. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened.
To him.
Just a little bit of stroke of luck there, and Hurst, to his credit, found a hole, picked up a couple of yards back on that, and maybe afterwards there is kind of where the
must have been a face mask on the tackle. That's Israel Summers and for the Redhounds making the tackle.
Well, after all that hullabaloo, it'll be 2nd and 8.
2nd and 3.
2nd and 3, excuse me. 8:37 left on the clock.
I thought they got away from those incidental face masks.
Here's Galloway, nice gain on that.
I thought they made them all 15 yards, but apparently at the high school level they haven't. They still have your 5-yard incidental face masks and your 15-yard egregious face mask.
Nice run by Galloway there, picking up 11 yards and a fresh set of downs for the Franklin County Flyers. And they're going to try to keep the ball rolling here as they've got it on their own 37, left side of the field.
I don't think you're going to see any long passes by the Flyers on this series of downs. And then you're going to see a lot of this.
Nice run that time, and that was number 34, Darius Simmons.
Yeah, big old boy,
a freshman. Or excuse me, 24, I apologize. That is Christian Moore. Again, we talk about the Flyers. Those uniforms look great under the lights, but if you're 2 old-timers like us who have a little trouble seeing those numbers, the way they're laid out there can be a little tough to read, so I apologize for that. But Christian Moore with a nice pickup there on first down. Now they're almost at the 50 as Hurst is alone in the backfield here.
Flyers trying to do to the Redhounds what the Redhounds did to them just a while ago. That's move the ball down the field steadily and methodically.
Nice throw that time by Hurst to find Galloway on the near side of the field there, picking up about 5 yards.
Did he get that much?
Actually, got more, got 6.
Well, I declare.
Well, they say the 45, but it's really on the 46. So.
We'll say 5.5.
There's the handoff, and that is going to go to, I believe that's Ty Taylor.
When I did radio, I did that a lot. I would do half yards. Ty Taylor, we called his name a lot last week. We haven't really mentioned him a lot this week. It's a nice show of sportsmanship there from Zane Hammock, number 37. He's a senior linebacker for Corbin.
3rd and 2, big down here. Big 3rd down, and Hurst is alone in the backfield. I wonder if he's going to try to keep it here. Fakes the handoff to Galloway. He keeps it, and probably should have given it to Galloway because he's going to take a loss of about 2 or 3 yards there on the sack.
Yeah, that's a drive killer. Waiting there for him was Anthony Myers, the senior defensive lineman for the Red Hounds, one of their leading tacklers. And this is going to bring up 4th and 5, and we're kind of in no man's land here.
I think they're going to go for it, Glenn, and Hurst is still out on the field.
If you punt it, you're liable to punt it into the end zone, resulting in a touchback. And you're too far away to kick a field goal, so.
Hurst 3 men out left, and now you're going to see Mormon, who's back in the game, in motion.
This time they may actually
Hurst
throw
throws
it.
the ball and leaves it up there, but Claudio's able to get to it. He fumbles it and fumbles it forward, and they're going to call him down, I believe, because I believe his knees were down when the ball came out, which would have him, I believe, just short. Kind of unfortunate for Franklin County, because I believe if they had called that a fumble, probably would have gotten the 1st down.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It reminds me of the old fumble Ruski the Oakland Raiders used to score a touchdown back in the 70s. He's down.
That's a nice tackle, too, because that was a man that was blocked off the plate. I didn't catch the actually, that was number 4. That was Brody Wells, who had been blocked and hit the ground, bounced back up, and just happened to be right next to Zach Claudio, and really was the reason that that Corbin has the ball now, and they got the 4th down stop.
Turnover on downs. What the Flyers need now is a 3 and out.
Was good to see Caden Moorman back out there on the field for Franklin County, though. And the 1st down, nice move,
little zag.
Get some space there. I believe that was Eli Petrowski.
No, that was 28.
Yeah, that was Jonah Mahan. Second time we called his name tonight.
A different number.
Yeah, Jonah Mahan.
That's a good block by number 11, too, Mark Warren.
We've seen that a couple times from Corbin, too, able to just get yards after the catch. This is a good football team.
Yes, they are.
There's Combs. Almost a horse collar tackle.
A lot of missed tackles there by the Flyers.
Kind of the same deal as we had on the last one. The Flyers not able to wrap him up, and Combs gets to the 35, and Corbin knocking on the door again.
I want to give a shout out to the athletic director here at Franklin County, Tracy Spickard.
And we got a flag on the field, so you'll have time to do it.
That's right. And this is no offense to any other athletic director out there, but Tracy's been the athletic director here for about 20 years, maybe longer. She's a girls softball coach, and if there's a better high school AD out there, I'd like to know who it is.
Yeah, you got a good point there. She's been really pretty good to us over the years.
She brings us drinks at halftime. She prepares a media packet before the game. There's that play we saw before, wide open again there, that time to Carter Stewart.
Yeah, Corbin just cutting Franklin County apart right now.
But she gives us a numerical roster of both teams. She gives us the depth chart for Franklin County, and it's just chock full of information. What do you get from most places? Nothing.
One thing I've noticed is
you got to do the research yourself.
This one's going to come back. They've got a flag here. But one thing I've noticed on this drive and towards the end of the last quarter, I feel like Corbin, Elam's getting all the time he wants back there to pick out his man. Franklin County's not able to get him, and he's just torching the Franklin County secondary as a byproduct of that.
Well, the Flyers call timeout.
All right, we'll take it with them. A little over 4 minutes left. 17-6, Corbin on top here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
In 1972, a young David Tolles vowed to jump the Kentucky River on his big wheel. He did not make it. We can rebuild him. We have the capability to make the world's perfect mechanic. Better, stronger, faster. David Tolles Tires and Auto Service on Duncan Road.
I want to take a second and thank our sponsors here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week. Of course, just saw in that spot, David Tolles Auto Pro.
One of my favorite commercials, by the way. I think that may have won an award or something. That's classic.
That was a fantastic commercial. Also want to thank J.O. Osborne with Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Thanks to all our sponsors for helping us bring you all these games here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week. Corbin in the red zone now. The Red Hounds in the red zone, and they're going to try to pick up 6. That time not able to get there as Franklin County gets the stop there.
Yeah.
Looked like coming in on the tackle there was number 75. That's Jeremiah Arden.
Ledford in there too at the end, I think.
Yeah,
you see him there coming in.
Actually, Ledford may have made the initial stop there, or Emmanuel Smith in on the tackle too.
Coach James and the Flyers, they just, they're having a hard time figuring out this Red Hound offense, and Red Hound's doing a great job in execution. You know, give it the fullback up the middle. Does he get in?
I believe he did.
He got awfully close.
I think they're gonna stop him right
awfully close. That's
right
Zane Hammock.
Let's take a look at this again.
Zane Hammock with the carry.
Give it to the big fellow. Let him try to just bully his way in, and you can see
down about the 1.
His knee hits the ground at about 1.5, and that time I think they're just going to push the pile into the end zone. And that'll be 6 more for Corbin as the Red Hounds hit pay dirt again, and Franklin County in a whole lot of trouble now with 2:54 left in the third quarter. And they're going to be looking at an 18-point deficit provided Corbin gets this point after here. And the Red Hounds just forced it down the throat of Franklin County this time.
Yeah. Quite frankly, their offensive line is beating the Flyers' defensive line right now.
Extra point is up and good, and that'll bring the score to 24-6. Corbin on top, Franklin County with the hill to climb. Can they do it? We'll find out on the other end of the break here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in getting your hands dirty.
I believe the best recipes are never written down.
I believe in fried chicken, cornbread, and soup beans.
I believe in the cards. I believe in cats.
I believe in insurance coverage that helps you sleep at night.
I believe in always carrying an umbrella.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Franklin County Flyers kind of in a world of hurt tonight here at Benny Watkins Field as you get a look at the Corbin fans who made the drive up, and they've had they've seen something that's been well worth the trip, Clint, as the Red Hounds have been pretty impressive tonight. 24-6 your score.
If you're a thief down there in Corbin, you might want to, you know, tonight's a good night because everybody's up here, not at home. But I bet the police stayed behind. Another touchback. So the Flyers be starting from their own 20 once again.
You see Caden Mormon, who was there, and we saw him kind of go off with a little bit of a limp on the first series for Franklin County.
Yeah, he's still kind of fidgety, shall we say, with that leg.
Yeah, but I think he knows that he wants to be out there, and they're going to need all the help they can get on offense there if they're going to pull back this deficit. And he's lining up to the right of Hurst. And there's the snap. Hurst is going to throw it, and he's got a man, and the ball falls out.
And it's picked off. Oh, my goodness.
things go from bad to worse for the Flyers, as on the first play of that drive, they hand it right back over to Corbin. That pass was intended for Brendan Robinson.
Jacob Baker
hit him. Let's take a look at this again. It was really strange.
Right in the numbers.
Just a tiny bit behind him, but that's just a great hit that time by Xander Curry to pop the ball loose, and it fell right into the hands of Jacob Baker, as you said, Clint. And Corbin really close to, and I know we got plenty of time left, but close to putting this game on ice almost.
Well, Franklin County, after their original score, they've not really done a whole lot except turn the ball over.
Yeah, they needed a big drive there, and instead they handed it right back to Corbin.
On the very first play, and the Red Hounds are in the red zone.
Now it's run from...
see what I did there?
I got it. I was
Red
all
Hounds
over
in the red zone.
Yeah.
That's why they hire me.
Well, I had the roster in my hand, or I would have given you some audible applause there. That was Cameron Combs for the Red Hounds, picking up a couple on that. Ball's on the 17, second down. Here's the pass, and that goes out to Brody Wells, who beats his man, gets past a couple tacklers, and struggles and gets to about the 4-yard line.
Too many broken tackles for Franklin County.
Yeah, that's been looks like Brody Wells has a bit of a cramp after that, but a nice bit of running after the tackle, because he probably should have gotten to about the 15, but just kept fighting, kept struggling, broke tackles.
It was the fourth guy that finally got him down.
Yeah, that should have been for a loss, and instead they're in a position where a decent block gets you 6 more points.
Corbin's not doing that. You know, when Franklin County has the ball carrier, the first Red Hound they see, he's taking them down. You got to wrap it up.
Corbin in no hurry to run a play here, but they eventually do, and Elam is able to kind of stretch out. Not sure if they're going to give it to him or not. I think they're going to call down at the 1-yard line, the 0.5-yard line. How'd you like that? 0.5-yard line.
There you go. That's good. I like that. Once again, though, you see Elam, you know, he ran through a couple of arm tackles to get down that far.
And credit to him, he's really just controlled this game. Minute and change left in the third quarter.
And I hate to say it, but I think I see a little bit of dejection, or
it's going to be 6 more for Corbin.
You know, some of the Flyers, they are carrying themselves in that, well, we're going to get beat tonight.
And that's
kind of showing that inevitability.
And that's, you know, that's a mark of a team that doesn't find itself in this position a lot, Clint. Of course, this will be...
But you've got to be able to handle diversity if you're going to be a winning football team.
If this score holds, this will be Franklin County's 2nd loss of the season. But of course, also, you know, you mentioned it earlier, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't going to make much of a difference in the playoffs, but it is about pride. Pride is what Coach Eddie James is really going to want to see out of his Flyers as we move on through this game. We got 1:04 left in the third quarter. Corbin up big on Franklin County, 31-6 here on the Cableton Game of the Week.
Game of the Week is brought to you by David Tolles Auto Pro. You're in good hands with David Tolles Auto Pro. Bring your vehicle to us for the best repairs in the Frankfort area. 2 locations at 1348 Versailles Road and 515 Duncan Road. And check us out at davidtollsautopro.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by J.O. Osborne with the Franklin County Farm Bureau. The Franklin County Farm Bureau's J.O. Osborne wishes all of our local teams a healthy, competitive, and successful season. J.O. and Kentucky Farm Bureau have been insuring Frankfort since 1943. With them on your team, when you experience a loss from an accident or storm, it can be a real game changer.
I believe Coach Eddie James is going to learn something about his team here. The Franklin County Flyer head coach, you see right there, he and his Flyers are looking up at a heavy deficit right now as we are late in the third quarter here at Benny Watkins Field. Corbin on top of Franklin County, 31-6 in the last 2 drives. Corbin Well, the first one, they just ran it right down the field on Franklin County, and Franklin County turned right around and handed the ball back to them in their own red zone.
3 interceptions tonight by the Flyers.
And, you know, it was a 10-6 deficit at halftime. The third quarter has just been all Corbin. And Franklin County might be a little bit of a gut check here. They've got to respond for the sake of just finding out what they've got in the tank, because this is not the only time you're going to be facing adversity, like you said earlier. So we'll see what happens here.
I don't know how they do things nowadays, but back when I played, Saturday was film day. You watched the game from the night before, and the coaches went over like, okay, here's where you missed a tackle, here's where you did this. And it was particularly bad. You would have practice after the film session. If they still do that, I anticipate a Saturday practice tomorrow for the Franklin County Flyers.
Saw Mormon there picking up 3 on first down.
If this score holds, it'll be the worst defeat Franklin County has had in a number of years.
Hurst is going to keep it this time. He found a hole, but not much there as Corbin again. You mentioned it earlier, Quint. Not a whole lot there through the middle in the second half for Franklin County to exploit there. And, you know, Hurst got a couple of decent gains on rushes in the first half, but that just hasn't been there in the second half, and we're halfway through the second half now. That was a big third quarter for Corbin. They go from 10-6 up to now 31-6 ahead of Franklin County. The Flyers have a lot of work to do to get back in this one. Fourth quarter coming up here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
In today's fast-paced housing market, you need realtors with experience who understand that timing is essential when finding the perfect home for the right price. Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher are here to ensure that you and your family have a positive experience from start to finish.
Real estate is what we do,
and families are why we do it.
Hello, my name is Greg with the State Tree Service, the name you know and trust.
Over the past 60 years, the State Tree Service has become a name people know and trust in Central Kentucky. From tree removal, pruning, and stump grinding to debris cleanup, we are always available with our 24/7 emergency services. A State Tree Service is licensed and insured, and our mission is to provide safe, quality tree care at a fair rate. Give us a call at 502-229-5258 or go online for a free quote.
Welcome back to Benny Watkins Field. Fourth quarter starting quickly here as we're right back into the action alongside Clint Goins. I'm John Piesheimer. 31-6, Corbin on top. Franklin County going to start trying to get back into this one here. 3rd and 4, and Hurst is going to have to hurry, and he manages to evade the tacklers. He's going to be able to pick up the first down here. He's going to keep it, gets it out to about the 37 and run out of bounds, but a nice job there by Gavin Hurst to pick up what was there and gets the first down and quite a bit more.
I was really surprised. I thought, this is...
Yeah, I thought he was dead to rights right about there.
Yeah.
He gets out of it.
But it squirms out, and a good pickup here. A good play.
I had talked about right before the break that he hadn't been able to get the yards on the ground in the second half that he had in the first, and turns around and breaks one open. That's what they call the commentator's curse, but in this situation, I don't mind it.
Franklin County has to keep in mind that they cannot score 25 points in one drive.
That's a good point, Clint.
You've just got to take this drive, take it down the field, put some points on the board, come back, play defense.
What's the old adage? Just keep chopping wood.
Right.
2nd and 7 here as Mormon picks up 3 on that rush. Hurst is going to keep this one, splits the tackles, picks up about 4 or 5 yards. This is going to be 3rd and close. Take a look at the replay. Got to give some credit to our cameraman.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the 2 Zacks and Ben out there putting in the work for us and
it's a good name
doing
for
a great
band.
job. 2 Zacks and a bin. Wasn't that Hanson?
Maybe.
Felt like they had about 3 Zacks and Hanson. I don't know. They had 1 at least, surely.
That is Shirley?
That is Shirley. There's the handoff to Mormon. It's about 4 or 5. They've really done a good job, and I know he had the little, you know, he came off and still looks like he's not walking completely comfortably, but Corbin's kind of done a good job in limiting his effectiveness. He had a couple yards there and a little frustration after the tackle.
Well, I'm sure they do their scouting. You know, they can read the stats and like, okay, this is the leading rusher right here. We want to make sure we can try to contain him. They probably know about Claudio.
There's Hurst. Looking downfield, he takes the strike, and he had a man in single coverage that time in Robinson, but overthrew him by quite a bit here.
Corbin's a well-coached team. Their coach, by the way, is named Tom Greer. Good defensive coverage there by Corbin's Joe Lester, number 1.
3rd and 6 here.
He didn't let the Franklin County receiver break inside.
3rd and 6 on the 50. Hurst in
big
empty backfield. He's got 2 men on the slide. Here comes Mormon in motion. Hurst is going to keep it. Breaks 1 tackle. He keeps on going, keeps rolling out. He's going to get the first down that time. Nice bit of running there by Gavin Hurst, who's really just showing a lot of heart here and trying to rally these Flyers to get back into it.
Good job reading the block right about here.
Yeah, that was a fantastic job to evade that first tackle. Just rolled out of it. Nice job by Gavin Hurst to just take what the defense gave him.
Yeah.
And that'll keep this drive alive for Franklin County as they start on the 43-yard line here. Hurst hands it off to Mormon. He's got some room to run. Finds a hole. He's free. He stays on his feet. He's going to walk in for a big touchdown.
He's going to score
with a lot of frustration. You can see how much that's taken out of him, but quite a warrior there. He gets his team, if not all the way back into it, at least
they're closer. Even during this run, you could tell he was a little gimpy.
Yeah, and we're seeing him on the sidelines now. He's definitely
right there is. You can see that one leg is like.
But it just shows you the heart and the skill and the toughness of this kid to be able to break that run when you're not
100%.
moving as well as you'd like to. Great run there by Mormon.
Powell
we'll see if
for
this
the
PAT is any more successful, and this time he gets that one textbook through the uprights. Franklin County gets one back, 31-13 your score. 9:37 left in this one. Can the Flyers claw their way all the way back? We'll find out on the other side here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Bob Allen is
Kentucky's Dealmaker. Shop Bob Allen of Frankfort for a winning selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, as well as quality late model pre-owned.
click and save
At BobAllenFrankfort.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Bob Allen. Bob Allen is Frankfort's Dealmaker. Visit Bob Allen's new state-of-the-art showroom at 925 Versailles Road and discover Central Kentucky's best selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models, as well as pre-owned. Shop BobAllenFrankfort.com.
9:37 left in this one. Franklin County showing some signs of life here. They had a rough third quarter, but they get a touchdown back as Caden Mormon with a big run. And 31-13 is your score. Franklin County looking to get back into this one. Time is not on their side, though. Only 9:34 left. As the Flyers get ready to kick it off here. And what they need right now, Clint, we've said it before, Franklin County really needs a 3 and out. I don't know that they've had one in this game.
No, in fact, Corbin has only punted once.
That's right.
That is it. Now, Franklin County's only punted once too, but they've turned the ball over.
And what you really have to get
about
right
4
now,
times.
What you really have to get right now that they have not been able to effectively do so far here in the second half, you got to get some pressure on that quarterback.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you Corbin's offensive line has been fantastic in this game as well. We got to say that.
The Flyers' defensive line needs to get gritty and mean.
Doesn't need much time for that. Pitches it out wide, and that was
a good defensive play.
Nice job. You keep them limited just about maybe a couple yards on that. Actually 1 yard. They spotted on the 21. So 2nd and 9 here for Corbin. As you see Gavin Hurst out there playing both ways here.
Yeah, a lot of guys do that at the 4A level. Now, see, that's that's another one where
we got a flag coming in late as Elam is able to get that out to the 35-yard line.
The Flyers' better hope is holding.
Given where it was on the field, that would be the assumption that it was a late hold, and that is what it's going to be. That's a big call right there. And
so they'll repeat 2nd down, but I don't think they'll drag it back that much because usually it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, where the flag came in.
And he was already down the field very well. So in fact, they pick up 4 yards on that penalty. But, you know, that's because the hold was well downfield.
Yeah, it's an interesting interpretation there. I know some people may have some issues with that because you have something like that happen as the throw is hanging up there and almost.
Yeah, that would have been great for the Flyers to pick off.
Yeah, you said it, Clint, because that would have been almost assuredly a pick 6 there. Nobody behind them, but not able to take advantage. But still, 3rd down. You've held so far pretty well. And
this is the Flyers' chance right here. Hold them here and get them to punt the ball.
Probably the biggest, I'm going to go ahead and say it, probably the biggest down of the game if Flyers want to stay in it here.
Yeah.
Elam going to start off in the gun. You wonder if he's just giving himself some room to run.
There's still time for Franklin County. He got the first down and then some. And
yeah, gets it across the 50 to about the 47. And that was what you were afraid of when Elam lined up in the gun. I don't think he ever had any intention of throwing that ball. I think that was the plan the whole time, and the seas just parted for him. And that brings up 1st and 10, and that's a bit of a morale killer for this defense.
Yep, and the Flyers jump off again. Other than a hold, Corbin has not drawn a penalty. This is at least, I'll take that back. They did have a personal foul, but those were offsetting, so I don't really count that.
Dennis Ledford, the defensive coordinator down there, like,
Franklin County's committed several.
Not very happy with yet another
several
offside.
Penalties. And now time starts to become an issue.
Yeah, now Corbin's not going to be in any hurry to put the ball in the air. That was Combs just.
You're down by
dragging a couple tacklers with him.
3 touchdowns, and you're under 8 minutes, and the clock is rolling, and you've only got 2 timeouts.
Again, you know, that offside penalty, now it's 2nd and 4 instead of 2nd and 9. Elam keeps it that time, and they've got him in the backfield.
Another flag
coming in, and Elam is only going to get about a yard out of that. We'll see what the call is.
Possibly another hold.
That would be ideal for Franklin County because that was way back in the backfield, and that's what we have. So that'll drive Corbin back, probably on the other side of the 50, possibly.
Yeah, it'll be second and double digits. I'm pretty sure of that.
Let's take a look at the replay here. You see that? You can see the hold right dead in the center.
Yeah.
There's no getting by that. And really, it was already gone that time. I mean, that was not going to have any bearing on whether that guy got to Elam or not. So drives the ball back to the Corbin 46. They get a few of them back that time. But this is still going to be
third and a while.
Third and 12. I was looking at the sticks and they weren't changing them. Third and 12 here.
Flyers need a stop.
He's going to pitch it out, and
it's a good tackle there.
That's Combs, and they get the third down stop they've been wanting the whole time.
That's
Flyers get one, and we've got
Tarn Smith, I think. 21?
24, I believe.
24?
I believe that was Christian Moore.
Okay.
He came up. Let's take a look.
The 4 and the 1, they look really close.
Yeah, we'll see the replay here.
It is 24, yes.
Yeah, Moore, and it looked like maybe his toe dug into the dirt a little bit, to the turf, excuse me. No dirt on that field. And he comes off limping. We've got a timeout here. We'll take it with them. 4th and 12, Franklin County on the verge of getting the ball back. They hope. Stay with us here on the Game of the Week.
Tradition means values, and we want a banker who has the same philosophy. Traditional Bank is a Kentucky-based business, and that does mean a lot to a business that is based in Kentucky. They know what we're going through. They are always there for us, and that means more than anything else. My name is Allison. I choose Traditional Bank because of the personal service. Paddle on into Canoe, Kentucky.
We come back into the action as Corbin about to punt the ball for the second time tonight, Franklin County getting a big stop that time, and that is going to bounce. Franklin County taking it on the bounce.
He called for a fair catch, so he can't advance it.
I think that's going to be, that was Claudio on the catch.
Good job by the official, because he called for the fair catch early.
Yeah,
watch his hands right here. Right there it is.
Yeah.
Right there it is. And then.
Yeah, that's interesting. As a replay director, Doug Crow points out, is that not going to be a penalty? I suppose not. I'll be honest, I'm not really availed of that rule, but regardless, 1st and 10 for the Flyers. As Hurst
look at the screen pass, but
kind of just has to dump it off that time to avoid the safety. Trying to find Galloway and just kind of ran out of time and ran out of room. 6 minutes and change left in this one. 2nd and 10, Flyers. Got a long way to go to get back in their end zone and a long way to go to get back even with Corbin, but they're showing a lot of signs that make you feel good if you're Coach Eddie James. You never want to be behind this late in the game, but Flyers showing a lot of fight here.
Yeah, their 4th quarter has not been too bad, but their 3rd quarter was miserable.
And that is going to be, looking at the call, I think they're going to call that down at about the 1. I don't know if they're going to get the safety on that or not.
No.
Looked like he
they might have given him to the 2.
If anything, he would have been.
To the 2, probably.
Okay, yeah.
There you see Coach James giving Hurst the play.
3rd and 12. This is a tough one for Franklin County to pick up.
The ball's on the 4, so they gave him up to the 4-yard line. But still lost 2.
Hurst is going to have to more than likely put this one in the air or keep it.
And that's going to be a probably delay a game penalty.
We got a timeout.
Oh, okay. Well, probably needed to because there's going to be a delay a game penalty.
Timeout on the field, 31-13. Corbin on top of Franklin County.
Your meters are getting smarter. Mission: upgrade all FPB meters with advanced digital electric and water meters. Codename: Smart Meters. Objective: shorter outage durations, automatic reports of service issues, real-time access to usage information, reduction of utility consumption, lower monthly bills, flexible payment options. FPB has chosen to accept this mission. Stay tuned for direct contact.
You see some of the fans lined up around the end zone there. They've stuck with this team, and Franklin County trying like mad to get back into this one. They just ran into kind of a buzzsaw in the 3rd quarter as Corbin was just all over them, and Corbin pushed that lead out from 10-6 to 31-6. Franklin County got one back early in the 4th quarter, and now they're trying to keep clawing their way back here. But one thing that's important to note is Franklin County completely out of timeouts. Big down here, 3rd and 12. Hurst's going to have to go to the air, and he's going for a lot of
under that one. He's got a lot of air on it.
He was trying to find Mormon, but well covered that time, and that will bring up a sticky situation here because 4th and a lot to go on your own 4-yard line. Probably going to have to do the old rugby punt.
Well, you know, at this point, 2 points don't make much of a difference.
I was just about to say that, but it does look like they're going to try to.
You might just snap it and take the safety. Walk out of the end zone and then punt it away from your 20.
We've seen the special teams pull off some good plays tonight, though. I think you give them a chance at it, but that is going to be the result.
Right there.
You're never going to have an opportunity to do that, so.
Right there.
You called it, Clint. They didn't do what you said, but the result was the same. We have a safety, and that'll be 2 more points on the board for the Red Hounds, who have really come here and made a statement here at Benny Watkins Field tonight.
Nobody blocked. Big number. I think the punt hit him in the knee.
Yeah, he was all over that.
That's Jace Hatfield, a sophomore defensive lineman for the Red Hounds.
A tough night for Franklin County gets just a little bit worse, and that is barring something extraordinary happening, probably all she wrote for the result on this game. Corbin well ahead right now, and they have the chance to just bleed off the clock here because Franklin County has no timeouts, no ability to stop it here.
Franklin County down almost 3 touchdowns, so.
And now that we're deep into this one, let's take a look at who we're going to call our player of the game here, and it is Gavin Hurst, who, albeit a losing effort, has fought hard and made a lot of good decisions, made a lot of good throws.
Yeah.
And you can see it here. He's done the job with his feet, bouncing that run out.
The really only one of those interceptions was his fault. One wasn't even thrown by him. It was thrown by Claudio. And the other one, it was maybe a little bit behind his receiver, but
the receiver had the
ball. Yeah, he should have held on to it. And
that was the Expree player of the game tonight. Quarterback
Expree Credit Union, we thank them for their sponsorship.
And that is the quarterback, Gavin Hurst, for Franklin County as they get ready to kick it after the safety here.
Our good friend Myron Moore, VP out there at The Express Credit Union. Well, this is not something
Corbin
the
might be
Flyers
getting
want
another
to
one
see.
here. No flags down and a spin move there, and that is going to be just short of a touchdown. They managed to get Curry down at the 1. That was Galloway coming in, or yeah, it was Galloway coming in to make the tackle to save the touchdown, but it might just be a formality here as Xander Curry with the run here. I want to see, I don't know, I thought maybe I saw a little bit of a block in the back. Of course, that's one of those that, no, that's just a good downfield block. That's a fantastic block, and it's probably what got about 20 more yards on that run.
Yeah, he gets it down to around the 2-yard line. The Red Hounds are knocking on the door again.
Yeah, Corbin looking to add insult to injury here. And there's something to be said for a team coming on the road and just being able to put up this kind of numbers. Franklin County not used to seeing this. Is they're going to get it in for the touchdown. Corbin scoring once again to bring it to 39-13. And just an impressive performance by Corbin tonight.
The Flyers may see them again in the playoffs, but first the Flyers need to work on some things so they can win some games. I mean, they won last week's game big, but beating an undermanned Western Hills team is, it's really not that impressive.
That was, yeah, it was a different task that they faced tonight, and not really up to the task so far has been Franklin County. Corbin tacks on the extra point, 40-13 your score, 4:50 left in this one. Corbin on top here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Express Credit Union wishes all our local teams a great season. Score $5 for the high school of your choice simply by opening a spirited account featuring your school colors and mascot on your debit card. Show your support, Flyers, Panthers, or Wolverines. Who will raise the most? Go to Express.org today. Choose wisely. Western Hills, Franklin County, Frankfort High. Let the rivalry continue. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Welcome back to Benny Watkins Field. The score 40-13. Franklin County having a lot of trouble, but here's one man who has never stopped fighting tonight. He's been playing through injury and had a big run that time. To get through that is Caden Norman walking in for the touchdown, and that made the score 31-13.
That is our Bill McCoy play of the game. Bill McCoy Insurance. Your local independent insurance agent for, gosh, I think about 50 years. Used to be my next door neighbor when I was a little kid. We thank Bill McCoy for his sponsorship of the Cable 10 Game of the Week. Next week, Franklin County is going to be at Ballard. I assume that's Louisville Ballard. There's also a Ballard way in the western part of the state. But, Ballard won't be any slouch either. Then they've got Woodford County at home.
Yeah, and this time Franklin County taking a step up in class. Ballard being a 6A school. And for Corbin, after this, they host Pulaski County at home. And they kind of just play a...
Could be a good game.
Yeah, I think so. A couple of area rivals for Corbin. They play Pulaski County on September the 9th, and then the very next week, they go away to Somerset.
The Briar Jumpers, best high school nickname
First
in the
fumbles the
state.
snap. Eventually pulls it in and gets the pass out wide. I believe that's Galloway picking it up, or excuse me, that's Zach Claudio picking it up, and he picks up a flag after the fact. And really, at this point, I think Franklin County just kind of needs to keep their composure here. It's
well, I don't think it's Franklin County.
Well, I only say that because Claudio was kind of just like gesturing to the officials here, but you're right, Clint, we should probably wait for what the call is.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Red Hounds.
My apologies go out to Zach Claudio, because he made a nice grab there, and he did manage to keep his composure. Yeah, a little bit of jawing that time. I think kid from Corbin probably just needed to accept that Claudio had gotten the play on him. You're coming out of here with a win. It's a big win.
Yeah.
You got to feel good about yourself, but officials squashing that before it becomes a problem. Here's the handoff to Norman, who is hit right as he gets the ball.
Right.
A couple of yards lost there.
It's Big Denver Jace Hatfield. I think he was the one who got the blocked punt in the end zone a while ago.
Yeah, nowhere to go here, and that was, I believe that was number 36 there, who made the initial hit. Just
Anthony Myers
shaking off the lineman for Franklin County like he wasn't even there.
Franklin County needs to. They need to. You know, they're not going to win this game. Okay, it's just, I hate to break it to you, it's not going to happen. So what do you do with the remaining 3:30 left in the game? Well, you try to work on things for next week's game. But if they're doing that, I'm not picking up on it.
Corbin takes their first time out of the game here. As you see the band for Franklin County,
under the direction of Josh Toppus. My nephew, Alex, is in there somewhere. He's a freshman. This is his first marching band experience. Big night for Alex.
Hurst has got 2 men out wide. He's going to go deep. He's got Galloway, and Galloway comes up with it.
Wow.
It's tipped into his hands. Excuse me, that's Zach Claudio. And Claudio is going to walk into the end zone. A bit of a morale lifter there for Franklin County as Zach Claudio, number 22, catches the ball off of the deflection. That was nearly, probably should have been another interception. Let's take a look at the
bit of a tip. Well, you know, it's hard to.
Yeah, I think that was number 22, Curry, who just almost lost it in the lights because he really probably should have come down with this ball. Maybe a little bit of a stretch, but it fell kindly into the hands of Zach Claudio, who didn't need to be told what to do with it after that. And
well,
Franklin County get a touchdown back.
You know, Curry's a junior.
If you can't be good, be lucky.
But the first thing you should do as a defensive back is make sure that the other team doesn't catch it. Sometimes it's best just to knock it down. Yeah, you want the interception, but just knock the ball down.
40-20 now, your score as Franklin County puts away the PAT. And the Flyers not showing any signs of quitting. Get a little stroke of fortune there. 3:17 left in this one. Corbin on top, 40-20.
You look pretty busy, friend. Why try and manage that much insurance by yourself? A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can guide you through it. We'll help with the research, help determine your coverage needs at the right prices, assist with claims, and adapt to your family's needs as they change at no extra cost to you. So, we'll do your insurance. You just do you.
Welcome back to Benny Watkins Field. A late touchdown. Maybe your morale boost for Franklin County makes the score look a little bit better. 40-20 your score. 3:17 left in this one, and Franklin County still think they can get something out of this, and they're lining up, I believe, for an onside kick here, so we will see.
Well, if they can hold them, I think that just, you know, that's less
Ball's
than.
up for grabs, and coming down with it that time is Curry, and he made sure he grabbed it.
He paid the price for that
one.
He
took the harm there, but nice job by Curry. Good hands, and that will honestly, Clint, probably, it was not much in doubt anyway, but that erases any shred of doubt there. Curry knew he was going to take the worst into that one and did a good job.
Jaquan Crawford put a licking on number 24. That's, I don't have a 24 for Corbin, but anyway, whoever he is, Jaquan Crawford unloaded on him. And he didn't get to touch the ball.
Handing the ball over to Combs. Combs breaks a tackle. Just not seen Franklin County many times been able to stop a rusher for Corbin at the line of scrimmage. They're always picking up at least a couple. First man never able to really bring down one of the Red Hounds tonight.
Yeah, you know, at this point, I'm always surprised by why, you know, this game is in the bag. Why Corbin doesn't rest Combs at least and bring in another back with a little less experience and get him some varsity experience against another 4A team.
There's Combs again.
Unless they want to,
across the 50.
Pad Combs' stats or something, and maybe he wants to stay in there, and I can understand that, you know.
They've got a flag down.
Everybody wants to play, but
this looks like it's going to come back possibly. Yeah, Clint, that's a difficult one because, you know, what point do you want to say? I would say if Franklin County had turned the ball over on downs that time instead of putting up another touchdown, maybe you pull the guys off. That might have had something to do with it.
Maybe so. I don't know. It's just hard for me to understand. You know, you don't want to risk injury to your starting running back, your best ball carrier.
I see where you're coming from there, and I think there are as many different philosophies on that as there are people who coach this game. So.
That's right. But you want your offense, your starting offense, to gel, and the only way to have them gel is to play them as a unit.
Combs gets the handoff that time, and he is hitting the backfield. Nice tackle.
Alex
Coming in to make that
Green.
one. Alex Green, the senior. And they do finally get a stop right at the line of scrimmage. Actually, a little bit of a loss on that. 3rd and 16 is what Corbin's looking at. I'm sure that's not really going to hurt their feelings because they are just about at the point where they can bleed this clock down and put this game to bed.
Well, if they get a first down here, they most certainly can, but let's see if they
Elam in the slot. And he's
run it or
going
you're
to
going to throw it. Well, and he fumbles it.
Fumbles it, and coming up with the ball that time is number 17 for Franklin County. That is Hunter Gotzel.
And that was Jeremy Walters is the one that got in there and caused the fumble.
It's probably too late in the game to really matter, but finally Franklin County able to get some pressure on Corbin. A big stop and then a turnover.
By the same token, I'm surprised that Franklin County still has Mormon and Hurst in there. Although, you know, they've got some work to do. I can see where
Hurst still on his feet. Nice acrobatic move to spin out of this tackle. Throws the ball, and I believe that is picked off.
I can see where Coach James would want to have his offensive unit continue to gel since they're not having a great night tonight.
And in a roundabout way, Corbin ends up about where they started.
Yep. A couple of knees and this game is over, folks.
And that is the 4th interception tonight for Franklin County. And I could be wrong. Was that the first turnover by Corbin?
I think so.
Well,
I believe so. Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at the blocked field goal. I guess you could count that as a turnover, perhaps.
Unfortunately, Franklin County hands it right back to them on the turnover, and now Corbin can just salt this one away. As they take a lead, Franklin County with no timeouts, and it wouldn't really matter at this point. Corbin going to get a couple of new players on.
Yeah, I think they have to down the ball one more time here, at the very least.
And Franklin County, you got to give them a little credit. They could have really let this get out of hand after that third quarter where Corbin put up 21 points, but stuck around, made a game out of it, kept things interesting as they could, but really Corbin just stretched the lead in the third corner, pulled ahead, and Franklin County could never catch up. And you see Coach James there. He's got a lot to work on. This is kind of one of those teachable moment kind of games, and two coaches exchanging pleasantries and shaking hands there. And
well, the one good thing about this is that you know Corbin's a good team, and they are almost always a good team, and you want to schedule good teams, especially ones that aren't in your district, to give yourself a measurement as to how good you are, or what you need to work on. And that's one positive thing you can take away from tonight. You say, okay, we played a good team, they beat us by 20, and this is what we got to do.
And they did beat them by 20. Corbin 40, Franklin County 20. We'll be back in a little bit to wrap this one up and put a bow on it. You're watching the Game of the Week here on Cable 10.
The Game of the Week Play of the Game is brought to you by Bill McCoy Insurance Agency, celebrating over 47 years in business. With over 15 companies to shop and collectively over 100 years of experience, call, visit us, or request quotes on BillMcCoyInsuranceAgency.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Expree Credit Union. Expree Credit Union wishes all of our local teams a great season. Score $5 for your school while showing your support with a spirited debit card, featuring your school's colors and mascot. Who will raise the most? Open an Expree Spirited account today and let the rivalry continue. Federally insured by NCUA.
40-20 your final score. The Corbin Redhounds come to Franklin County High School at Benny Watkins Field and really put on a clinic. And Franklin County taking their second loss of the season.
They fought a 1-2.
They fought a 1-2. As we see some highlights here, Franklin County, a game challenger tonight. They really tried to hang on and hang in there, but Corbin too much, as you'll see here in the highlights. And we want to thank everybody that was with us here tonight on the Cable 10 Game of the Week. We want to thank our crew out there, the two Zachs and Ben on camera. We want to thank David, Crystal, and Doug here in the truck. And I got to thank you, Clint. It's been a fun night.
Well, thank you, John.
Alongside Clint Goins.
Could have been funner, but it wasn't bad. High school football, I like high school football, and I like being out on a night where it's a nice night. And, we got college football tomorrow. The Cats with their own opener. If you're regular Game of the Week watchers, and we hope you are, next week we will be in downtown Bell Point as the Frankfort High Panthers host the Doss Dragons from Louisville. So that should be a good game.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and that will be right here. So make sure if you can't be at the game, tune in here on our various channels. We'll be on YouTube, we'll be on Facebook, and we will be on Cable 10. For Clint Goins, I'm John Piesheimer. We'll leave you with some highlights from tonight. Thanks again for tuning in to the Cable 10 Game of the Week.